what's happening here today.
My name is Dawan Williams. I just was released from Graterford Prison. I just did 10 years of incarceration, and I'm here to surprise my son at school today. I didn't stop, change clothes, or anything. We coming straight from the prison, straight to get our children and reclaim our posts of being fathers. I was a part of the You Can FACT program while I was inside, and it's geared towards reconnecting incarcerated fathers and their children back together. I still have my prison uniform on. I didn't change for a reason, because I want to send a message to guys, not only incarcerated, but out here in society, that it's important that we get out here to our children because they need us. They need us badly, and I'm just wondering what the reaction is going to be like from little Dawan when he gets in here. He just came to visit me last night, and he doesn't even have a clue that I'm going to be here today. When I was at Graterford, I had took the time out to write to Principal Harris, who was nice enough to write me back and update me on my son's progress in school, progress report, his report cards, and all his suspensions from the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade. And ever since he signed up and we was a part of the FACT program, he started to show improvement. And this year he just started the 4th grade. His behavior is improving. And I called Principal Harris this past Friday to let him know that I was returning home this Monday after 10 long years, 6 days after my minimum. And I think it was nothing but the will of God to put all the people that love me, Ms. Penny, State Representative Ron Waters, of course, Dawan's mother, Arlene, Dr. Moore, you know, the whole You Can organization, from Magic to Ghani to Ali to Tommy and Big Brother Shadid and Bayat, and all the guys that currently sentenced to life at Graterford, that's sending home men. You know, a lot of the times we only hear of the bad stories, you know, the bad stories of guys returning back, you know, after being incarcerated, but we never get to hear about the guys that are being reformed and, you know, having a different mindset, returning back to society. And, you know, I'm here to show and prove. You know, I'm done talking. I'm ready to just show.
So what are your plans?
My plans is, of course, to go back to school and do whatever it is the FACT program needs me to do in moving forward. My major plan is to help reconnect fathers and help fathers understand that our children need us. You know, we committing these crimes, and I feel like, you know, 10 years ago, I feel like this morning we're all being released from prison. You know, Dawan's mother, Dawan, my daughters, my whole family. You know, because unconsciously knowing when we commit crime, we making our children and our families and our support systems, you know, we're making them our co-defendants. You know, and it's becoming an intergenerational curse with the fathers missing from the household. And, you know, not to, you know, shift the blame or, you know, bring up the past. I just feel that if my father was there and he played an active role, you know, I wouldn't have experienced a lot of things that I experienced. And this is why I'm here to break that cycle by showing and proving and showing Dawan that his father's, you know, cares for him. We have a strong relationship, and thanks to this FACT program and this young lady standing right here, Miss Penny McDonald, they were able to you know, help us bond on a deeper level. Because coming up and having a one-on-one visit was just, you know, something totally different than from when his mother, you know, brings him up, or his godfather or his grandmother or another family member brings him up. During these one-on-one visits, we got to, we really got to know each other. You know, like Miss Penny know my, Miss Penny know my favorite color. Ask Miss Penny what's my favorite color. Red. Okay, and Dawan will run everything else down to you. And State Representative Ron Waters, man, I can't thank this brother enough, because, you know, most politicians are just geared towards, you know, this is not to bad mouth any other politician, but most of them are, you know, geared towards this tough on crime attitude. But nobody's really geared towards reconnecting the family, or, you know, transitioning and changing the minds of men. And that's what it's all about, changing the minds of men and making corrections being about correcting behavior rather than punishment. So again, I would like to thank this organization. Lorraine, we met before in 2013 when we did the radio interview at Graterford. You know, it was a really emotional time over the last, I want to say, 72 hours, because nobody knew I was coming home, and I just let the cat out the bag this past Friday. And, you know, Sam Magic, Ali, and the You Can board members, you know, Big Brother Shadid and Bayat and Tommy, and those guys was like my family, you know, for this past decade, you know. You know, they were like father figures, brothers, uncle. You know, those are the guys that you know, kept me in straight. I also want to give a special thanks to my counselor, Miss Patricia Connor Counsel. on B Block at Greatesford. She played a major role in helping, change my mindset and recognize my faults and keeping me on track. Every time, they say it takes a village to raise a child, and that is true, because every time, you begin to veer off, somebody's there to pick you back up and put you back in the lane that you belong in. So again, this is incredible. I still can't believe I'm standing here, this morning, waiting downstairs in the intake, waiting to be processed out, seemed longer than the 10 years I just did, and walking out those walls for Greatesford, it just felt, even walking in here, I just had an anxiety attack. I thought I had to throw up. And I'm just waiting to see my little twin and see how this thing gonna play out, man. But, it's time to show and prove. It's time for the fathers to get rid of that intergenerational curse and be what it is that you say you're about. We have to save our children. We have to spend time with our children. Crime is not worth it. I'm done committing crime. I'm not leaving these children out here no more to fend for themselves. It's not going to happen because...
Who said John?
Wow.
Girls coming home, man. Get that.
Yeah. Look at that on open first.
You said you go to the other jail.
You lied to him too, right?
That's my twin right here. So when I wrote to the principal, you got to consider the fact that they're dealing with hundreds of students. They're dealing with faculty, different parents, and Dawan had came in and his godfather on a visit, and his godfather said that he had got suspended. So then Dawan told me that, while he was in the principal office, that the principal said, yeah, I got a letter from your dad, man. He cares about you. So a red light went off in my head. Oh, he actually got the letter. So I went back that night after the visit. I wrote him back again. I said, listen, Principal Harris, Dawan told me that you did get my letter, what have you. And a few days later, he got the letter. So I was coming back in from my normal routine around 8 o'clock in the evening, and one of my psychoses is when I walked in the cell at Greatesford, I had a habit of looking on the floor because that's where they put your mail at. And there was a manila envelope there, so I picked it up, set it down on the bed, and it said from Pennell Elementary School. Now when I opened it up, it was a progress report, thanking me for writing them and caring and showing Dawan's, he was telling me about Dawan's progress. He sent me his report card. I was very proud of it because I knew he ain't no dummy. And come here, please. The following morning, I beelined, I ran fast to meet the UCAN board members to show them the success. And we immediately added this as another component to the FACT program. It's a letter writing campaign. This sent shockwaves all through the jail. We had an event called Youth Day down in the chapel, and we gathered young brothers up that's trying to play an active role in their children's lives. And I read the letter verbatim from the principal, and I read Dawan's report card, and I shared with him the suspensions and what it is that we have to do. So we were able to, through this program, we were able to launch a letter writing campaign. Now keep in mind, Superintendent Mike Winerowitz and the Deputy Andreka and the administration there, they said never has that happened in the history of them dealing with prisons, have somebody gotten off their behind and actually wrote to the school instead of waiting on somebody else to do something for them or believing in the false perception that nobody's going to write back or there's nothing that we can do. So with that being said,
What do you think?
I'm happy.
You happy? What about you? Well, one of the really cool things when I actually saw the two of you before was that you knew a whole bunch about each other.
Right.
I wonder if you could kind of just share again.
I don't know if you remember. You remember my favorite color?
Red.
Remember my favorite food?
Fried chicken.
You know my favorite cartoon?
Scooby-Doo.
I'm going to get you with something.
You're good.
What's my favorite subject?
Wait, math.
Yeah.
Favorite movie?
Remember my favorite movie?
Beverly Hills Cop.
I remember that.
Who is my...
LeBron James.
awesome. So basically, the reason why you know all this is because
this fact initiative, because we was able to sit down in a one-on-one setting. Because like I said, when the moms come up and bring him, you know, we men and we behind the wall around a bunch of men all day. So when we get a visitor, we more in tune with the female, and the child is left, you know, sitting off to the side or running around the visitor room and getting with other little children and just doing their own thing. When the visit was actually supposed to be about the child. Or when his goddad or his grandmom or one of the other adults would bring them up, you know, we would end up having the adult conversation and Dawan to the side, like, yo, this is supposed to be about me, you know?
I don't say none of that.
But that's how your face look. But the whole thing is, this program was designed for the one-on-one setting. And now in the one-on-one setting, it's just you and the child. Now you're able to sit down and have a conversation, you know, and get to know one another, you know, for hours at a time. And we was able to find out more about each other, like his favorite subject in school, you know, and some of the things he liked. And we grew closer, man, because of this program, man. If it wasn't, you know, if it wasn't for this program, I'm not gonna say that our relationship wouldn't be what it is, but this program played a big key part in that, because there's a lot of fathers, maybe right here today, you know, in the city of Philadelphia and abroad, that don't even know that either their child don't know their favorite color or likewise don't know their favorite cartoon, but they might be in the household every day. It's a difference, you know. Some people think that because they're there, they're there. It's more than just getting up, going to work, coming home, and I'm just your dad. We have to play a more active role in our children's lives and get to know one another.
And this is my 10th year as a school principal, and I have never in my educational experience have been written by any of my students' parents who've been incarcerated or anything of that nature. And certainly I've had a lot of children, unfortunately, and you know, under my leadership, have parents who have been incarcerated, etc. But this is the first time that I've received a handwritten letter to say, help me to help my son from where I am. And I thought it was so profound, and the letter was just so touching. I said, you know, we have a responsibility. You know, we have a responsibility to, you know, educate the whole child and really bring families together. So I had asked permission from Mom if I was able to, you know, write Dad back and to send information and so forth, and she had no problem with it. And and that's what I did, you know, and I wanted to make sure that I painted a very full picture of Dawan. This is my 4th year at this school, so I've known him for some time, and I wanted to make sure that I gave a holistic approach about how his son's progress was, and you know, and what we can both talk to him about, you know, in order to support him to do better. So I'm very excited about this. You know, I'm very excited about it, and it was supposed to happen. I get tons and tons of mail, you know, and so, you know, I was able to, you know, just kind of get these letters. I've held on to all the letters. I have them all in my office now. But this is just so important and so profound. I like to see this type of initiative, you know, all throughout the city, because I feel that when fathers are involved, when both parents are involved, it makes our job much easier, number one, but even more profound in terms of what it is that we do. So I'm excited to see this.
And thanks again, man. I want to thank you again.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
you know, I look forward to moving forward with this.
Absolutely.
I'm here to stay. What you see is what you got.
There you go.
You can.